it's Carolyn, the contest queen, and I am here in the Good Vibrations Sweepstakes Club to talk about good vibes. And this month's talk is on the law of attraction, which is really interesting because everything seems to be going to heck. And you might be wondering, where are all the manifestors? If I'm supposed to be manifesting my best life, I didn't think I'd be hunkering down and social distancing during a pandemic. So how can the law of attraction work when all this craziness is going on? So put your questions in the comments, and I will be talking about the myths and the truths, and my truth, I should say, because everyone, it's all relative, right? And hi, Sandy. Hi, Joanne. So let's start with, what is the law of attraction? So this book, The Secret, was also made into a movie, was, hi Amy, hi Nicole, became very popular about 12 years ago. And it's very interesting because this came out, and then what happened right afterwards is the stock market crashed. And a lot of people lost their money, and the States in particular, but also the rest of the world, they had a bit of a recession, and it was just a mess. And it just seemed ironic that this book comes out and the movie comes out, and then everybody starts losing their stuff. So there's a couple of things that need to be taken into account. And just because you're deciding that you want to put the law of attraction out there to have a relationship or make a lot of money, the universe is answering everything you ask for. But for example, if you want to make a lot of money, but you're highly codependent, the universe needs to get rid of that codependency first before you can be a success and keep your money. Otherwise, you'd be giving it away to everyone left, right, and center. They would bleed you dry. It wouldn't work. Hence, the why everything seems to disintegrate before it's rebuilt. You know, there's some plants in Australia that don't blossom until they've been through a fire because their seeds are so hard that the shell only cracks open when it's burnt, kind of like popcorn, and it pops and it allows the seed to plant and grow. But it only does that through fire, or similar to a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It goes through the chrysalis stage, and then it doesn't just open up, and that it goes through a really hard push through the crevice to become a butterfly, because it has to push the moisture from the body into the wings. If you cut open that chrysalis for the butterfly, it just it just dies, because it needs to go through the struggle to get to the butterfly. And the law of attraction is no different in our own lives. So if we ask for something, get ready to go through the shadow to get to the light. Yeah, I know. Isn't that great that I'm talking about this? Because usually you think good vibes group, law of attraction, airy fairy. No, we're not in the clouds. We're here on Earth. And yes, the law of attraction works, but it's not this airy fairy thing, right? And it also works, we talking about it because of the contesting, and we focus on prizes, right? Which is fun. Hi, Delilah. Hi, Dawn. So this is one of my favorite books. The reason I like this one, also with this one, so I'm gonna kind of do a little book review on all of these. So let's start back with the first one I showed you, The Secret. This was great, and the movie was fantastic, except they left out one key part, and that was action. You know, Jack Canfield, and he was actually in the movie, says the universe rewards action. Right? You can't just sit in your couch and, I want to win a prize. You need to like enter a contest. That's like the old joke. You know, there was a little comic strip. I think I have it somewhere. I think I tucked it away somewhere. There's a guy in church and he goes every week and he prays, God, please let me win the lottery. Please let me win the lottery. Every week he's going back, please, please, I want to win the lottery. Finally, God says to him, Joe, meet me halfway. Buy a ticket. You know, you gotta take some action. You can't just wish on it. So this is really good for outlining the steps, except they leave out one. And that's why I like Michael's book, because, and I met him ages ago. This one I'm never giving away because this one's my autographed copy. He is the how-to guy. He was on Oprah Radio talking about the how-to because the two things that people struggle with are how to take action and how to remove doubt. Hi, Lori. So that's what the nice thing about Michael's books, and he has a ton of videos. If you go to hangoutwithmichael.com and scroll back to kind of the beginning of his videos, because now he's doing emotion code stuff, which is great. He's evolved his business. But what's nice is he has left all of his law of attraction videos up. So if you go to Hang Out with Michael, I'll put all the links after the video because it's too hard to do it when I'm speaking. Hi, Lisa. And so Hang Out with Michael and scroll back. I should start posting my favorites again because he has some great ones, like how the law of attraction is like ordering pizza. And I've actually been a guest on some of his video shows. He's really great. I love him. So he tells you how to take action and how to remove doubt. And you don't have to remove all the doubt to make it work. That's the key because we're human beings. Hello. And then one of the other ones that's very popular is the books by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So this is the first one they came out with, Ask and It Is Given. Right? I haven't read this in a long, long time. The Hicks were friends of Louise Hay, who began Hay House. And Jerry actually passed away several years ago. And so now it's just Esther, and she still channels Abraham. Oh, Alyssa says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Very true. And just think about that, what she just said. All the crazy people in the world, they weren't always nice and sweet. They also had ideas that everyone said, that's insane. All the experts said, that will never work. Look at Disney. Look at Steve Jobs. These were guys that just said, I'm going to build this thing. And now the experts think, you're nuts. That's never going to work. And then what happens? They change industries. They change economies. They change people's lives. So this is a pretty good one. And then because the law of attraction got so popular, they actually wrote a specific law of attraction edition. But if you're going to learn about Esther and Jerry, these got them. And in 2007, I was lucky enough to go to a Hay House weekend, and I saw them speak. And it was really something. I love those things because the energy of everybody there makes you feel so pumped, which is kind of hard now because we're all kind of locked up. And what was interesting is this was the very first law of attraction book I ever read. And it was funny because as I read Lynn's book, I was getting angry. I got so angry. I couldn't figure it out. And I realized because one of the things they're saying is that you're responsible for what you attract in your life. Similar to Henry Ford that said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so that was something I really had to take a look at in my life. Like, what was I attracting? And then also, what was I putting up with? Because Eleanor Roosevelt said, you teach people how to treat you. No different than the law of attraction, right? I just listened to Robert Ohotto. He's doing a free 3-part seminar series. They've already done 1 and 2. The 3rd part is on Saturday, and you can watch the reruns for free. And then I think he's going to be editing them and posting them up after for everybody. Yeah, so if you missed it, but go sign up. He's really amazing. And one of the things he talked about is, if there's a toxic relationship, if you're really codependent, say for example, and he's known people that have gotten cancer, and their children, they have this like toxic dynamic with their children, and their children get angry with them when they get cancer and can't take care of everybody else. It becomes a wake-up call for them to move on to this next phase of their lives. So it's kind of like what we're all being called to now, right? Clearly, what we are doing isn't working, because if it was working, we wouldn't be in the middle of this. And so this is changing. Now, I read these books years and years and years and years ago. It might be time to pull them out and read them again. Right now, I'm just enjoying myself reading a mystery novel. You don't want to always be working. But this is the one that Helene Hadsell read to give her the idea of how to use the law of attraction to start winning. So she doesn't actually say that in her book. But if you go to my YouTube channel and look up Helene's playlist, in one of her videos, she talks about that's what she did. She read Norman Vincent Peale's book. Oh, I grabbed my author copy. It's got the not for resale on it. So she read this book and went, oh, okay. And then she just started winning. So this is a good one. Oh, now I'm feeling old. Look at the font. It's so small. Then the other classic is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I think we're all slowly being taught richness with community. Because rich isn't always money. It could be love. It could be animals. It could be everything. So here's another one that I haven't read in a long time. But this is a good one. It's called Feel It Real by Denise Coates. And you can go to all the websites of all these authors. Well, some of them, because some of them have passed away, clearly. Lynn's gone. Jerry's gone. But Hay House has an extensive website. Michael's got an extensive website. I haven't looked up. The Secret gives out motivational quotes every morning. You can look them up and follow along. And on Hay House, because of everybody being quarantined, every day they're doing live videos with some of their different authors. It's very, as Lori just said, thanks for being so encouraging. Well, it's very encouraging to watch some of these teachers, and they talk about all kinds of things. And I love the law of attraction made simple. I quoted Jonathan when I redid my book. I added him in. I took out some of Lynn's stuff. So I used Lynn's stuff in the first book, but I wanted to update it and use some other authors. So I used Jonathan's. I quoted Jonathan in the next book. And that's a really good one. So yeah, he signed that one for me when I got it. It's really good. And then another fella that I love, actually Helene loved him. Joe Vitale wrote The Attractor Factor, which is fun. It's a good book too. And then of course, I put in a whole chapter on attracting luck in here. Of course, I can't find it when I want to. And it's a compilation of little bits of all of this. Because I said, winners think positively, expect to win, feel like a winner, have good chi flowing inside and out. So everything from yoga to health food to anything to raise your vibration. Share with others. Don't cheat, and enter. Right? Like Robert Kiyosaki said, few people realize that luck is created. And then Ovid said, luck affects everything. Let your hook always be cast. In the stream where you least expect it, there will be fish. Right? So, and there's tons of resources. Anthony Mindell, and I have his books. I have them actually in the other room. He wrote At the Left Brain Turn Right, and Alphabet Soup is for Grown-Ups. And he is a positivity coach. He's actually an acting coach, but his lessons work for anybody's state of mind. Right? And Abraham from Esther and Jerry Hicks says, you get what you think about whether you want it or not. So Michael Loge says, think about this way. Say, go into Google and type the words no football and see what kind of results you get. You're just going to get football results. It's all going to be football because it doesn't recognize the word no. And I know I had that happen to me once. For some reason that year, my daughter won like 8 soccer balls from all these different contests. I don't know what was going on, but soccer balls were a great secondary prize. And I ended up winning a chance to go to win a trip with the Toronto FC. And one of the prizes was a soccer ball. And of course, I'm thinking, I don't want the soccer ball. What do you think I won? I won the soccer ball. Because that's what I was focused on. I don't want the soccer ball. I don't want the soccer ball. I don't want the soccer ball. I got the soccer ball. Alyssa says, after reading The Secret, I can honestly say my life has been so enriched with all good things. It taught me that no matter who we are, everyone is worthy of all good things. Knowing that, my dreams and wishes come true because it was then I believed. Also, the other thing I want to mention is there's also a thing called divine timing. You know, sometimes things can't happen when you want them to because there's other things in play. So I'll give you a couple examples. Ricky Gervais once said to his girlfriend Jane, because he's in his 50s now, I think he's just a couple of years older than me, and he said, why didn't I have all this success when I was younger? Like, he was hustling, he was smart, he was, he was writing all the time. And she said, because you had to live life first. Like, the reason his shows are so good and in depth is because he's had a chance to have life give him a few kicks. And he's had his ups and he's had his downs. So when he writes, he can put that life experience into the scripts. And that's why people love his shows, because he's had that. Right? If you get it when you're young, who said it? Matt Damon was very aware when he won his Oscar at 25 that this was highly unusual and that he should be very cognitive of this opportunity, because this doesn't just happen to everybody, and that it was a real gift that he won an Oscar at such a young age. And that's a real mature observation from someone at 25. I was not there. Sometimes I feel like it took me to 50 to get to where I thought I should be at 25. Just like Ricky, I had to live some life. And even then, I'm still learning. I'll do stuff and I'll go, why didn't I just do this or say that? You know, the fella that I've been watching every day, he's been doing Instagram lives. Oh boy, you want a good butt kick? Gary John Bishop. One of my favorite new authors. He wrote Unfuck Yourself and Stop Doing That Shit. And apparently he's going to come out with a podcast. I'm very excited. And if you want a good kick in the butt while you're social distancing and hunkering down, he's a great one to watch because he just motivates. He doesn't give any guff. And his Scottish accent, you can just listen to him all day. Lori says, it seems to be less and less contests right now. More time to read, which is lovely. I also want to do some online vision board. I'd appreciate book suggestions. Okay, so there is a book called The Vision Board Book, but I haven't read it, even though I know the author. So I'm not sure what the resources would be. Yes, there are less and less contests because I noticed last week a lot. I still haven't blogged about it yet because my goal this week is to, where did I put it aside? My goal this week is to finish transcribing this book, and transcribing is taking me a lot longer than I thought. I'm only on page 33, so I'm basically a third of the way through transcribing this book, and I'd like to get it done this week, and then I have to do editing. Oh yeah, so that's the other thing when it comes to book writing I learned. I thought, oh, I just get it all out there and then it's finished. No, then there's the editing phase, which could take as long or longer than the writing phase. But I will have that book out for April. That's the nice thing about self-publishing, because once you're done, you can just go with it. And I can get the printout right away, and while I wait for the author's copy to get shipped from Amazon, I can usually work on the Kindle version and the Kobo, the EPUB versions. So for the law of attraction, so for vision boards, one of the things I do is I put pictures. Okay, so this actually ties into the law of attraction too, because that's what vision boards are. Vision boards are law of attraction photographic representations of what you want to manifest. So instead of making a list of, I want a new car, I want a new house, I want a new boyfriend or whatever, you have your list, right, of whatever you want, right? So this year for me, I want to get Facebook Blueprint certified, which that one's kind of fading down to the bottom of the list. I want to get 5 books written. I'm on number 2, and it's only March, so I'm making good time, right? If I'm doing one every couple of months, banging them out, I'm on track. I want to lose weight. Oh my God. I started gaining because I stopped going to the gym. And I wasn't losing when I was going to the gym, but I wasn't gaining either. It was keeping me kind of equilibrium, and then I've been sitting home. And it feels like Groundhog Day every day. Mel Robbins did a good video on that today. Go get her. Go watch some of her stuff too. She's very motivational. And so I got up at 5 o'clock today, and by 6 o'clock I was out and I was walking because I had to start moving again. I just couldn't say I needed fresh air. It's great going out super early in the morning. There's nobody around. And it makes me feel like I'm not wasting the day, because on Sunday I slept until 9 a.m. and thought, oh, I'm wasting the day. Cool, I want your books that are coming out. Yes, Amy, just keep following me. You're going to be seeing all the posts and the links. So because Helene's other books aren't contest related, I'm building my Idea Majesty website. It's half done. So after I get this done, I got to get some more content to it. And then we can also I'll be putting links to the books. But of course, everything will be on Amazon. And Kobo and Kindle and Apple Books and Google Books, and it's everywhere you can always find. So back to the vision board. So a little bit of a road trip there. A vision board is a visual representation of what you want. So find pictures online, in magazines. I know a lot of people are decluttering. If you've got a lot of old magazines around your house, go around, get a stack of them, go through them page by page, cut out pictures of things or words that represent goals that you would like to achieve, whatever it is. Lose weight, meditate, improve your relationship with your family, make more money, start your business, renovate your kitchen, take that trip as soon as the world feels safe again to travel. Whatever it is, find pictures or words that represent that thing, and they don't always have to be exact. Like I have pictures of on my last board here. Let me just grab it. On my last board that I made here, I'll show you guys. So this is the last board I made, okay? And I make a small one. I cut a full-size Bristol board into 4 because this office is much smaller than my old office. I don't have the space. So, and some people like to use the big one and spread their goals out and write words and things on them. I've used glitter glue and stickers and all kinds of things. You can use anything. So it's limited to your imagination. And part of the point is that you put your energy into it. So you have to do what makes you feel good. I like to overlap and squish them all together. That might make other people crazy. So you have to make it the way you want, right? So I put different things to represent, it doesn't have to literally be that. Like I have a little angel. Well, I don't think I'm going to win an angel. There's no goals of an angel, but I feel like I have guardian angels looking out for me, and I like to put them on the board to give it some good juju. I like things that represent love, travel, movement, meditation, good health, good mindset, home, hearth, business goals, anything you feel can represent, right? And then I have little things like, I found this. There was a time when I couldn't see the road ahead. So I hit the accelerator and the whole world opened up. My dream is to expand my horizons. It's much brighter out there than I expected. I actually found that in a magazine. Somebody wrote that. I'm like, wow. I found another one in a magazine. It said, my goal is to help people connect with the power of the earth and the sky, which is kind of what I'm doing, right? I'm marrying heaven and earth here, right? The law of attraction, as above, so below, right? That was right in The Secret. Same with astrology, as above, so below. And if you watch Robert and he talks about the current astrological cycles, or Rick Levine, who talks about that, my first talk in the Good Vibes Club was on astrology. Same thing, as above, so below. So that's some of the things there. So let's look at some of the stuff that, like, let's go to here. Let me open Michael's, because his is my favorite. I want to read you a couple of his things too. See, now this book's been around a while. He wrote this a long time ago. When did he write this? What's the year on this book that I have? Yeah, so this one was 03. This superseded The Secret. The Secret, I think, came out in 06. 06. Yeah, so she wrote this one in 06 based on the Wallace Waddle book, which I do not have, and which was written, 100 years before, but his came out in 03. So he talks about how it changed his life. Here's some of the words. This is what I like. He says, a number of words, expressions. I have my green tea, by the way, if anybody's joining me, and a nice relaxing cuppa. There are a number of words or expressions that describe the law of attraction. Some is out of the blue, serendipity, coincidence, fate, karma, synchronicity, luck, meant to be, fell into place. So I'll give you an example. When I asked Ike Hadsel if I could buy the rights to all of his mother's work, he said, sure, what do you have in mind? So I got a lawyer to write up a contract, and I sent it to him. Let him read it, see if it was what he thought was good. And he was like, yeah, perfect. And the lawyer said to me, there's no changes to the contract? And I'm like, no. It's like, what do you mean there's no changes? Can you just ask again? Like, he'd never seen this. The lawyer had never seen this. And I said, no, it's because it's meant to be. Like, I am meant to be forwarding her work. It's the law of attraction. It was really easy. That's how I knew that I was on the right path with her work, because it was ridiculously easy to get to the next step and get her work back out there. So I thought, okay, that's clearly my path. It was like every obstacle was like removed. And don't get me wrong, I had some trouble with it. Like the new Kindle software took me 5 tries before I got her first book into it, learning software. I wanted to break that thing. I remember spending, I don't know, maybe like 3 days on one file, and then at the end it didn't work. And I was like, what? So, it's not smooth sailing, but it's you know, you learn. Now all the rest of the books will be easy because I learned. So he says, definition of the law of attraction. I attract into my life whatever I give my energy, focus, and attention to, whether wanted or unwanted. Oh, add freshly squeezed lemon juice in your green tea for more antioxidants, even more healthy. Thanks. I'm not a fan of lemon though, like that. I'd rather just eat it and drink it in green juice. I bought a whole bag of lemons that were on the, like, hey, we're going bad shelf, you know, in the grocery store where there's 50% off. And I just took them, skin and all, and I juiced them, and then I froze it in ice cube trays. And then if I need fresh lemon in my like if I do juicing, I let it thaw, and I throw one in. All that lemon goodness. Okay, so here's his reality cycle, right? Now, we're all in a reality cycle that we weren't aware of. So there's individual attraction, and then there's global attraction. So Carolyn Mace has some good talks. I should go find those links. She did a really amazing talk about how we are all plugged into a grid, an energetic grid. We all are one, and this virus is showing us that in spades. So he says, you observe what you receive and have in your life, whether wanted or unwanted. So then while observing, you unconsciously have a vibration, either negative or positive. And then the law of attraction responds to that vibration. And then as a result, the law of attraction brings you more of what you're vibrating and feeds the cycle. So there's an expression I learned in sales. When I took sales training, it said, when's the best time to make a sale is right after you make a sale. Because you're in that like, woo, I just made a sale. Yeah, I'm vibrating. You're vibrating that sale, right? So I changed it for sweepstaking. What's the best time to win something? Right after you've won something. Because you're like, woo, I won, yay. And you're all like feeling it, and off you go. And you start entering sweepstakes, and what are you putting out there? Winning vibes. Oh, I'm just feeling so slouchy in this chair. Lazy. Feeling lazy. That's why I went out and walked very early this morning, because we got to start doing that. So this is very similar. So Helene has SPEC, which is select it, project it, expect it, collect it. Michael has a 3-step formula, which is identify your desire, which is select it. Step 2 is to raise your vibration, which is project it. Step 3 is allow it, which is collect it. He doesn't actually have like an expect it part in there. So he has like SPC, basically, same thing. So his whole book is divided into sections, and he shows you, so he teaches you how to, you'll learn an easy script for accurately defining anything in your life, and then you discover how you can deliberately raise your vibration when using the desire statement tool. And then learn how to reduce and even eliminate doubt and resistance that stops you from attracting what you want. Now, yes, Nurka, I said at the beginning, I think you might have come in a bit late. I'm going to put in the links afterwards, but because the camera on my laptop is not very good, I do these lives on my phone. But it's too small at the beginning to type everything, so I just put in the title. And then afterwards, when the video processes, it's easier for me to go in on my laptop and go and pull all the links. Because also people might ask me questions on things that I didn't think to put a link to. And, oh, and actually Kay says, is there a book list to recommend, please? Yes, if you go to my website, under resources, if you hold your mouse over the word resources, you're going to get 4 sections of drop downs. And the one on the far left has a few things. And there's one option that says attract luck. And if you click on that, I have links to probably all of the books that I talked about. I will have to go double check, but I'm pretty sure they're all up there already. So you can go and check that. But I'll put a link to that page too in the recommendations, and I will double check that all these books are there, but they should be. Otherwise, I will need to go tomorrow, because I probably won't do it tonight, and update the page. But I'm pretty sure they're all there already. Okay, so sorry. Right. So, oh yeah, so I wanted to give an example of the vibration. So sometimes if you're in a funk and you can't get out of it, it's hard. So I'll give an example. I was doing really well winning, and then I went through a divorce, and for quite a while I was just in a dark, as Robert calls it, a dark night of the ego, because he says some people call it the dark night of the soul, but he says your soul is never dark. So it's a dark night of the ego, and I was just miserable for a while. Like I just had to go through that and let go of, what I had to go through, that whole growth period. And so a lot of it, I was just miserable, and I didn't even feel like entering. And so I would enter sweepstakes, but I won very little relative to the amount I was entering compared to when I'm in a really happy state. Like last year, I won more instant prizes than I've ever won, and I'm so mad at myself for not tracking my wins. And then I was like, yes, and I started tracking this year, and then of course a lot of the contests disappear with this COVID thing. Like Murphy's Law, right? Murphy's Law. But that's okay. I did see a difference from when I was going through, and then if I had tracked, I would have seen this kind of a dip. And even though some of these books say, just shake it off, or play some music, or do things that make you happy, if you're going through a dark night and you have to go through a change, kind of like a butterfly in a chrysalis, right? You have to go through the change to get through, and that change part is kind of icky, but you have to go through it to get to the other side. So it's okay to feel icky sometimes. Like Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. And if you're having a bad time, sometimes it's better not to airy-fairy it off with like, oh, the law of attraction, I'm just gonna think positive thoughts and it'll all be okay. No, sometimes it's okay to sit and cry for half a day because you're just so anxious you can't deal with anything. Right? Yes, Holly, you just need to accept. Some of the teachers, if you've seen videos in it, they say lean into it. Right? You actually get through it faster if you don't try to, vision board it away. If you actually lean into the misery and go through it and just allow yourself to be miserable. So Robert actually told me to watch the documentary Buck, which for a while was on Netflix. I don't know if it's anywhere anymore. It might still be on Netflix. I don't know. But in the old days, people used to really beat horses into submission. And he basically calmed the horses down. He was like known as the horse whisperer. And he calmed the horses down and got them to trust him. And this is what you have to do with yourself. Don't say, oh, come on, pull out of it. Ugh. Just berate yourself and try to pull yourself into submission. And get out of it. Come on, just shake it off. Just like Holly said, right? Just be mean to yourself. Just sometimes you have to be calmer with yourself and just start to trust the new and go through it like that. It was a really good movie. I think if you saw it, it would be a good idea. I'll see if I can find a link to it somewhere. Otherwise, I'll just put the IMDb. Yeah, sometimes Elisa says, sometimes you have to write what you're grateful for that day. Some days I was having such miserable days, I didn't care. I was like, I'm not grateful for anything. I'm just going to be miserable today because I just need to go through this. And you know what? And that's okay too. you know. There was a radio show. I think he's gonna come back with his radio show at some point. But he did an episode one time, and I don't think it's out anywhere. But it was how to be grateful when you don't feel grateful. How to have gratitude, like when you don't feel grateful. When, even though we're all supposed to be social distancing and staying home, I'm very grateful that I have an office I can come into if I just need to be alone for a while. And I can social distance that way, and that I have the internet, and my house is warm, and it's getting warmer, and I can go clean the garden soon so I can get outside, and I have the space for a backyard, right? And I have a car that if I need to go and get groceries, I did do it today. Today's Monday. I try to go out. I feel like a little person in a cave. You come out, you look, you forage, you forage for food, you come back, stay in the house. Right, yeah, we have toilet paper. And you know what, Alyssa, even if you didn't have toilet paper, you could wash yourself if you had to, right? Like, really, you need food. You got to eat. You can always live without toilet paper, but you can't live without food. Yeah, Holly's like, bahaha, that's funny. Yeah, it is funny. But yeah, we got to be grateful. We have running water, we have the internet, we have each other. Like, we're all hanging out here tonight. I'm going to be doing another virtual contest club again because they're fun. I've got to look at my calendar for April. Not that I'm busy, but I did book some dates for classes in case. Like, I'm going to do a Maneuvers for Wishcraft on the 18th, and my Roboform 101 class and different things. So I have to look and see. And then who knows, things might come back online by the end of the month. So we'll see what happens. We won't know. We just have to take it day by day. So anyway, that's where I'm at with the law of attraction. Oh, yes, that's right. I saw that somewhere. Lisa's right. The QVC host said, you're not stuck at home, you're safe at home. Yes. Again, that's the law of attraction, right? What are you focusing on? I'm stuck, or I'm safe. Oh, thank God I'm safe here in my home. Right? Yes, thank you for that, Lisa. That's a good, this is how insidious negativity is imprinted in the human condition. That even during a positive chat, and I'm in a good mood, and I'm happy I'm here, and I am feeling very grateful, I even said stuck at home. Even had that energy of stuck at home. So that's how easy it is to get into that, negativity. So, and I like all the things. There's going to be a I saw a post. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again. If I can find it, I'll share it in the group. They're going to be doing a global prayer to heal the world. Big on the prayer, right? I don't know if you remember Oprah had that little boy on. He only lived till he was 12, but he wrote a book called Heart Songs. Hi, Cheryl. Hey, never too late. Yeah, Lori, chatting with family far away. Yes, I have family in Australia. I have family in Portugal. We've been talking on FaceTime, like on Facebook Messenger. It's fantastic. It's free. Hello. Aren't we lucky? Yes, Alyssa, quiet time. We've been doing movies and popcorn. And I've been pushing myself to read more because I love it. And then also sit down and not troll Twitter and actually write. Like I said, I'm a third of the way through the book, so if I keep at that pace, I should be finished this week. So that's really good. And yeah, like the other day I was going around the garden and I was picking up all the scrap paper that had blown all over the yard and picked up all the plastic. And I found some crocus, which I didn't even know was planted. So I'm guessing the squirrels had picked a bulb from somebody else's garden, and because I think crocuses are bulbs, and planted it in the backyard in the vegetable garden. I was so happy to find these like beautiful little crocuses. I'm working from home now, enjoying my fellow coworkers. So negative is exhausting. I figure she's teaching me to be patient with negative people. Yes, that's what Helene says. I read it in her new book as I was doing it, because this is a book I had never read, and she talks about everything that happens to us is an experience. It's not something negative. We're like, what? Not why is this happening to me? What am I to learn from this? That's the way you have to look at it. What am I to learn from her? What gift is she trying to give me? Now, what a mind shift for that, right? What a mind shift to look at her as, oh, she's giving me a gift. What is the gift? How cool is that, right? But also, it's nice now. See, the universe is giving you a break from her. And also, maybe you can send her some love every day. Wow, how hard must it be for her to go through life with such a negative shield? And also, what happened to her in life, right? Because we shouldn't always judge somebody by the chapter we walk in on, right? Like, we don't know what happened to her when she was little, for example. Something terrible might have happened to her to get her to this state. We don't know. We can't really judge. The natives always said, judge, you can't walk a mile in someone's moccasins. We don't know where she's been and what got her to that state. So maybe just every time she says something negative, depends on what she says. You can always twist it like, wow, it's interesting that you think that. Oh, or if she asks something nosy, you can always say, oh, why would you want to know that? Or, that's one perspective. If she says something negative and you see it in a different way, you go, yep, that's one perspective. That is definitely one perspective. So you're agreeing with her, but you're not agreeing with her. Yes, and Lisa Ann says maybe we can help someone move to another chapter. If you get her in the Secret Santa, get her the Unfuck Yourself book for Christmas. He really pulls no punches in that book. It is amazing. I tell you, Gary John Bishop, he's writing another book on relationships. So that would actually be good to read too, because it's not just for, when people hear the word relationship, they think significant other, but it's friendships, family, co-workers, neighbors, everybody, right? So his book's going to be really interesting. Yeah, and I'll put links to everything up there. Let me just pull through. We got a few. It's not 9 o'clock yet. I want to open Jonathan's book. I don't even know if his is still in print. His came out the same year that the everything went through. His came out in 2008. Today's thoughts, attitude, and non-conscious programming create tomorrow's results. But here's something. Okay, here's something you can't do. So, for example, I published this book, okay, and I published this book, right? So I can't law of attraction a bestseller in the way that you would think. All I can do is put it out to the universe and say, okay, may the words, advice, and teachings I have in this book reach the people that need to hear my words of inspiration right when they need to hear it. And that might mean it becomes a New York Times bestseller, or it might not. But every time I think, why do I keep writing these books when they're not, New York Times bestsellers? Then I get somebody saying to me, wow, I was really having this bad time in my life, and I picked up your book and I started sweeping, and I'm having so much fun. It's a great distraction from what I'm going through. And I think, all right, that's what I'm doing it for. Right? Because it's a pebble. Oh yeah, this is the other thing that I had a epiphany of this week. I have to write a Millions review. So I wrote one for CFA promo for them for a corporate website, and then I'm going to write my own from the consumer's perspective. And in the show, there was an informant. There was someone that was the one that called the FBI to kind of trigger this whole thing. And you find out who it is at the end. So you have to watch all 6 episodes, and I'll write out the thing. And I won't give a spoiler alert, but the person that called the FBI had exactly one intention. Okay? So they were kind of law of attractioning. I'm going to take these actions because I want this result. And yes, they got this result, but it spiraled out and it touched thousands of people in dozens of countries. Like, this thing went huge. So you don't know, when you take one action, when you take a stone and you throw it in a pond, you have no idea how far it can ripple out and how deep that stone will go and how many people it will affect. George just opened the door and said, every action has a greater and equal reaction. Oh, equal or greater reaction. Sorry, I've just been corrected through the door. And I know I'm probably talking too loud because he's in here. I'm doing these in the office, and he goes, oh my God, I can hear you in the living room. So I put on the headset, so I thought I could try and be quieter, but clearly I'm not quiet, which is really funny because at the beginning of the book, Helene's book, in the foreword, I write that, yeah, it's just funny. I said, after our first interview, I was quite brazen and bluntly asked if I could come to Texas to meet her in person. She said no. A few days later, I received a phone call from her inviting me down. Helene said my spirit guides were so loud she had to concede. And I thought, I'm loud in real life, so it didn't surprise me that my spirit guides were also loud. Yeah, that's funny. Anyway. So yeah, this isn't new. Anyway, so so back to McMillions. And then we were watching a show on Netflix about how the Wonder Woman was created. And back in the 40s, I think, he had the idea for the costume. So you never know. And look, and now we have the big franchise movies Wonder Woman. There was another one coming out next year. I think it's being edited now. I'm assuming those people can still work because they're on computers. They don't have to be near each other. So you don't know how far, like, his concept for Wonder Woman back, 80 years ago, and there's still people, television shows, movies, things, like 80 years in the future. Who knew that it would ripple out, this far? And same with McMillions. So I need to remember that when I throw this stone into the pond, so to speak, I don't know how far it's going to ripple out and who it's going to affect. And sometimes it's something small or innocent you can say to somebody. So there was a thing I saw on Facebook. You might have seen it too. And it says, somebody will say,
if it is to be, it's up to me.
He's popping in again. If it is to be, it's up to me. You're going to have to come and do one of these Facebook Lives with me.
Everyone achieves more.
Yeah, he's coming in team. Together, everyone achieves more. Would you like? Sit.
Laboring under correct knowledge.
Yeah, in my messy office. Oh my God. Everything's a disaster in here. It's the only room in the house I haven't cleaned because I've been sitting and writing. So I come in and I get paperwork and I just throw it down. And then I don't do it. And then once a week I go, okay, I can't take it anymore. I clean up the office. It looks like a magazine. And then a week later it looks like a bomb hit it. That's the only thing I've never been able to, like, really keep clean. So, He's funny, great energy, Holly. Yeah, he has great energy. He's really suits me. He's the male version of me. Where I'm down, he's up, and vice versa. So we think a lot alike, which is great. And he's very funny, and he supports this crazy journey that I'm on. So he's been helping me with the book and things. So it's really good, and it's nice to have someone supportive. I mean, I had a supportive husband in a lot of ways. Like, he encouraged me to actually become the contest queen. But there was a lot of disconnect between us, and also I think that was the end of our soul contract. So that's the other thing, right? Like, my soul contract with him was done, and he had to go on and learn other lessons with other people, and I had to go on and learn other lessons with other people. And that was that, right? It was a learning experience, as Aline would call it, right? And just move on and look forward to the future. But I had to go through a bit of a dark night as I was letting go of that old image and what I thought life was. And we're actually doing that as a collective consciousness right now, right? Because we're always saying, well, I can hardly wait to get back to normal. But let's face it, we're never going back to that normal. We'll have a new normal. It's not going to be as clamped down as this, but things are going to change. Things will change on this earth as a collective consciousness, because we are all one. So things are going to shift, and it's going to be interesting to see how they shift. Like companies that maybe were 20 people in an office might just say, you know what, why are we paying for that office space? Get a virtual office for a few $100s a month, and everybody just work at home. Much cheaper for the company. And maybe with the money they save on rent, they can hire a few more staff when this all comes out at the other end. Who knows, right? I was using Zoom years ago, before I signed up to Zoom, probably about 2.5 years ago, when I was starting to do my online classes. And I like it because it allows me to screen share, and that way I can show people what I'm doing. So that's why I use Zoom when I do my virtual contest clubs, because we can all see each other. It's kind of cool. It's so fun. Lori says, seems like we're having a major reboot. Yes, a major reboot, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what I did after I got my divorce. I had to have a major reboot. And for a while, I was a bit like a hermit. And I would sit at home and watch Downton Abbey and drink tea and cry. Right? And slowly, I was coming out of it. I remember I didn't want to do any entertaining. I just pretty much hermited for about a year. And then I won a dinner party that could either be held at my house or at a restaurant. Like, in case I didn't have a house big enough, I think they gave the option, like if I had a condo downtown Toronto that was as big as this office, then, clearly I didn't have space for people, so I could have it at a restaurant. But I thought, no, this is the universe's way of telling me I need to start entertaining again. So I invited some neighbors and friends over, and the chefs came and they cooked and everything. Oh, it was lovely. It was perfect. That's when I started coming out of my shell. And then that Christmas, I did all my baking again. I started getting back into my Christmas baking, and then the next Christmas I hosted Christmas dinner and had everybody over, and slowly I came out of it. And so that's how it is with life, right? Like, so my hobby took a dip, and I did things, and actually some things I don't know what would happen. I had won a book contract the year I left, moved out, and I was so sad I actually cried the book contract away. So who knows what would have happened with this had I been able to pull myself out of that dark night a bit sooner, right? But we all have our process, and we can't, go back and change anything. Hindsight's 20/20, as they say, right? But we can only go forward from here. You can always start over from soul, as Robert says. So it's past 9. I think I'm going to wrap it up in the law of attraction. I'm going to put a list up of everything, but I'm going to do it in the morning. I'm actually going to I'll put a note because I'm kind of tired. I woke up at 5 to go walking and now I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. So I'm going to go to bed early so I can get up and walk, but then I'll be fresh in the morning and be able to pull everything in. So I'll just put a little note that I'm going to update with all the links in the morning, and you can come back and check it then. And then also, the next day I also will, download this video and I'll put it on YouTube and I'll update all the links. And then also, if you have any law of attraction questions, or if there's any topics, like good vibrations topics that you want me to talk about, we can do that. Okay, so put your suggestions for topics either in the comments or just DM me, and I seem to be alternating. So like at one point I did the St. Patrick's Day chat with sweepstakes, and then I did this chat, and the next month I'll do a chat. I'm gonna have all my classes. Those are paid clearly because I teach, but then I have my virtual contest club, which I charge $1 for because it helps cover my costs. Because Zoom, I have to pay for Zoom, so it helps cover my costs for Zoom. And then, so it's only $1. So I just figure if everyone pitches in $1, it kind of covers it for the time for the course, and then or for the meeting. And then I also have for free these chats. So look at my event calendar on contestqueen.com. Well, yeah, it's on contestqueen.com, but the easiest one's on Facebook. So if you go to the Contest Queen page on Facebook and look for all my events, I've got most of them up. Did I put them up for April yet? No, I have not. I will be doing that probably tomorrow because it's the last day of the month. So stay tuned for all the April dates. I will be posting those up. And then also April 1st, I send out a newsletter, and I have the link to the workshops in there, so you can go check the calendar to see what you want to come on, and send me any show ideas, because I love chatting. I love talking about good luck and making people feel good, especially when we're all staying home safe. Here's to winning. I want to see in the Good Vibrations groups, because contests that were run in the past are drawing now. So people are still winning. So let's see what's coming in. Bye.